Alright, so found the other box of stuff, and before I go on though, look at this little Shaviv. Clip it on your shirt pocket. So in one of these two bags should be rods for this thing. There we go. So this is actually a electronic depth gauge, is what they describe it as online. The one that I found on eBay that was really cheap is a no-name one. This one is the Accu Remote, which they have their own website. It says USA on it, but it occurred to me after I said that, oh, that's interesting that it looks so cheap, but it apparently is made in the USA. This doesn't say it's made in the USA. It just says Accu Remote USA. So I mean, that could be they're just saying, oh, it's a U.S. company that imports these. Who knows? But anyways, you can see that you put all of these bars together, you get quite a bit of extension out of that little thing there. Got this mag base. This is the, China Jeep cheap mag base. And I got a couple of indicator backs, and I think we're gonna get to the story behind those in a bit. Actually, the story behind those might be in the bag right here. And we won't make it a long story because I already said I was going to try and go faster. Alright, here's all the stuff that was in some of the drawers. This is a little set of fly cutters. Little itty bitty suckers. So this one's a little different. So it looks like we've got maybe a set and an orphan here. So I'd say these three right here are a little three-piece set of fly cutters, and then these two little ones right here are just separate. Oh, look at that little sucker right there. One lonely tool bit. Got a wiggler. Appears to be of the no-name variety. Alright, well that probably fits this. I don't know what the deal is with this. And we got 4 more edge finders. These 3 are all unmarked, so they're probably just imports, but they all seem to work perfectly fine. And this one is an SPI 98-326-2. This is like a rip-off of the Starrett with the cone on one end and the regular edge finder on the other. This I've never seen before. So the idea behind this, from what I can gather, is if you want to find the center of a piece of round stock that's horizontal on your mill or your drill press table, you would put this up in the chuck, or the spindle, call it, right? And you would traverse back and forth until that line right there, until that little line lines up with that line. Never seen one of these. Oh, and this is marked PEC USA, PEC. So this is that Precision Engineering Corporation again, the same company that made the square I featured not too long ago, and also the set of 3 or 4 machinist squares in a plastic case. So it seems like they make some pretty decent stuff. Well, the PEC round bar center finder can be bought on Amazon for like 12 or 13 bucks. So if you guys think that's a neat looking tool, you can go and get yourself one cheap enough, that's for sure. Also in that drawer were these other edge finders. This one almost looks like a Fowler one that I had. No cover for it. It's got the same look. Yep, that's a Fowler 54-575-600. 54-575-600 Fowler. I don't know if there's batteries in it. I guess the easiest way to tell would be to... The principle behind these, for those of you who don't know, is when the electrical circuit is completed between the body here and the tip here, a light will illuminate and shine through these little holes. So basically the current path is actually, this is, you know, held in your collet on your mill. So the current path is actually from this to the collet to the spindle, through the spindle bearings to the head of your mill. You know, so, and eventually down through the knee, the saddle, the table, the vise, any parallels or anything, any soft jaws you have in there, the workpiece, back to here. And it works. So the reason why I explained that whole rigmarole about the current path and everything is because sometimes if you have, you know, certain types of bearings, I guess some people have had some problems with them. Oh, look, there's the holder for the, there's the holder for the mystery wiggler. All right, cool. Well, I just went to test this this very unusual edge finder out, and nothing happened. And I opened it up, there's no batteries in it. So my first thought was, oh, you know, put in a AA battery, but it's like, well, that doesn't seem right. So I went online and I found out this is actually kind of a neat little edge finder. It's a what they call an optical edge finder because of the, I guess because of the fact that it lights up. But what it also does apparently is it has a beeping function. So if you're down in a hole trying to, you know, indicate an edge and you don't see the light, have you seen the light? If you don't see the light, you'll hear the beep. So that's kind of neat. The bad news is people who made this thing made it a 3 volt. I guess for the electronic circuit to work, they needed more than 1.5 volts. So it's a 3 volt circuit. So it needs 2 batteries, and because they wanted to keep the size down, can't get 2 AA's in there. So what they did was they used 2 unusual cells. They called LR1s, which I think are used in some older cameras. I think that's where that cell size may have originated from. But what it actually looks like is it's a cell that looks like it's about the diameter of a AA, but it's about a little over 50% of the length of a regular standard AA battery. So I just ordered some of those because we're going to want to test this thing. I don't think I'm going to keep this, even though it's kind of a neat edge finder, because it's for CNC. So I think it's be kind of silly maybe for me to be using this on my manual mill. So anyways, that's that. All right, in the home stretch, 5 items left. Mitutoyo. This item is the item that I actually saw advertised on Facebook Marketplace that made me want to go and check out what this guy had. Notice the case says Mitutoyo. He actually had this advertised. He didn't have a picture of the outside of the box. He had this advertised as a Brown and Sharp height gauge. And there was nothing in the picture to give it scale. So I actually thought this thing was kind of large. And I did a Google image search and ended up finding out that it was in fact Mitutoyo. So anyways, without further ado, what we have here is a very cool little Mitutoyo height gauge. It's got a patent number 2478677. It's 0.001 inch resolution. Mitutoyo, made in Japan. I don't remember whether or not this has a part number on it, but I was able to find a part number for it. But this was actually a pretty expensive little height gauge. So what it's got is it's got a little scriber in here. All right, carbide tipped. So the idea is you could set this very precisely and then, you know, scribe a line in using this on a surface plate. This is marked 62318 on the bottom. That might be actually a serial number. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I think there's a couple of these on eBay, and they want all kinds of crazy money for them. I forgot what he wanted for this, but I got it for significantly less than that. And I actually found out that when this was made originally, apparently there were actual also accessory spacers, basically like big cylindrical gauge blocks almost, that you could use to add very specific height to this. Clearly, because of this is the original box, so clearly it didn't come with those. That was an add-on you bought later. So I don't know. I might hold on to that for the time being. Next up, we have whatever's in this blue box. I don't remember. Oh, okay, yeah. So we got another height gauge, another no-namer by the looks of it, but very clean. Has a decent indicator mount on it. No markings on any of this stuff though to indicate what the manufacturer was. And actually this might not even belong to this now that I look at it. And it looks like we've got no clamping nut here to do a transition anyways. It's just a piece of brass stock. And here's another random bar. Ah, hold on. This is definitely a bar for a height gauge. The dead giveaway is that little metal disc on the end there. You see it? I've seen plenty with that, and that just keeps that from being able to slide all the way through. Matter of fact, there's the other one right there on that one. So I would say this rod and this go together. So we're just missing a nut. And here's a little, that looks like a little drill bushing. It says the Walton Company. So I don't know if Jeb, John Boyd, Jim Bob, and the rest of them were involved with this or not. All right. The box is a wealth of information. Not. Telescoping gauges. Made in Japan. That bodes well that these are Mitutoyo. However, they are not marked Mitutoyo, so we cannot make that assumption. They are the style, the self-centering style. Both sides are spring-loaded. They seem to be in good working condition. So we're not going to know who made these, unfortunately. And we've got a complete set here. A, B, C, D, E, F. Yep. Wait a minute. Why is there an extra one? I just miscounted. There's 7 in here. Ah, cool beans. This is the A for 1/2 inch to 3/4. No, I'm sorry, 5/16 to 1/2 inch. This is the B.
That's the C.
So that's the complete set there. This little guy that was hanging out in there is actually a genuine Mitutoyo AA. That's got its own little pedigree. That'll work. So this could be UASA, could be NSK, could be, who knows. I'm not worried about it. But it's better quality than the very cheap Chinese-made import, because it's Japanese. That's just my opinion. All right, final 2 items. We've got a Mitutoyo case here. It's been around the block a few times. It doesn't want to latch anymore, so somebody had masking tape on here keeping it closed. And what's actually in here is a decent Mitutoyo micrometer. It's another one of these direct reading tenths micrometers. So this is 0.0001 resolution. It's got the vernier, but again, because it's a mechanical direct reading, you can actually read the tenths right on here, which is kind of nice. Friction lock works correctly, or friction thimble I should say. The lock is here. The lock does work. And that's actually a pretty nice little micrometer. Part number is a 193-212. For some reason there is a Starrett wrench in here. Oh, what do we got here? Look at that. A genuine Mitutoyo standard. Yep. It's nice. Got these little rubber caps here protecting it. Alright. And we got a little bit of paperwork. Oh, this doesn't belong in there. How to read a micrometer. Starrett. Alright. like that. And the final item, initially I didn't want it, but he gave me such a great price on it, I decided to take it. This is a, apparently it came out of the tool crib at Nelmore, whatever that company was. This says Intramix 0011. And this is a 2.8 to 2.80004 inch master setting ring. So what this is this is basically a special gauge block or gauge ring, for the lack of a better term. And this is designed for setting a big Intramix, which is for measuring bores. So the idea being that it's got a knurled outside, but on the inside here, this is the money edge here, and there's a little bit of light staining on there. This probably would have been quite expensive when it was new. This is made by Baker. Got a part number on of N2548. So the idea is you would set your Intramix, use this to set the Intramix, and then take the Intramix and use it to test your bores. You know, look at the resolution here, 2.80004. So that's thousandths, tenths, hundred thousandths. So that's 400 thousandths over, I'm guessing, 2.8 inches. And it actually also, notice it says 20 degrees Celsius. What they're basically saying there is they're saying that, yeah, we're guaranteeing that this is proof to be that dimension at that temperature. You cool this down, you warm it up, it's gonna shrink or expand. And this comes with a certificate of, I guess this would be a calibration certificate. It's calibrated back in 1994. Reality, can't imagine why you would need to recalibrate this unless it was used a lot, like it's scratched up or what. So I have absolutely no use for this, so I'll probably send that down the road. Hopefully it's still got some value to it. I think I got this for 10 bucks. And when I was going to pass on it, I think his argument was, you can't pass on that for 10 bucks. That's a hell of a deal. So, well, we'll see. All right, guys, that concludes this that concludes this outing. I hope you guys enjoyed the finds. Hope you guys enjoy watching these videos as much as I enjoy making them. And if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. And if you haven't already hit the like button and you're still hanging in there, please do so. Take care.